Have you ever wondered how the US can spend trillions of dollars it doesn't have without immediately collapsing? How stimulus checks, bailouts, and government budgets seem to appear overnight, while your cost of living keeps climbing? The truth is, money isn't found, mined, or earned into existence anymore. It's created, and the process is far stranger than most people realize. Right now, money is being created in the United States, without printing presses, without gold, and without anyone physically touching a dollar. It's happening silently, digitally, and most importantly, legally. This isn't a conspiracy. It's the backbone of the modern economy. And once you understand how the US learned to create money this way, you'll understand inflation, debt, and power in an entirely new way. Every single day, somewhere in Washington, D.C., machines quietly hum as they turn ordinary paper into US dollars. These facilities run non-stop, printing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of physical cash every 24 hours just to replace old bills and meet daily demand. Old, damaged, or outdated notes are constantly removed and destroyed, while fresh ones take their place. But here's the twist. This physical money is only a tiny sliver of what actually exists. More than 90% of US dollars aren't printed at all. They're created digitally, typed into existence on screens, appearing as numbers in bank accounts. And that digital number grows by billions every single day, even when no new paper bills are printed at all. So, where does all this money actually come from? Who decides when new money is created? And how did the United States build a system where wealth can seemingly appear out of thin air, while at the same time leaving households deeper in debt than ever before? To answer that, you have to understand that money today is less a physical object and more a shared agreement, backed by law, confidence, and enforcement. To understand how America magically creates money today, we first need to rewind thousands of years to a time when money didn't exist at all. Imagine a small farming village long before coins, banks, or governments. A farmer needs a new tool, so he goes to the local blacksmith. The problem is, the farmer doesn't have anything to trade at that moment. Instead, they agree on a promise. The farmer will return later with food from his harvest. That promise, based entirely on trust, becomes the first form of money. No coins, no paper, just belief that future value will be delivered. As trade expanded, promises alone became inconvenient. People began using commonly accepted goods like grain, cattle, salt, and shells. These items had value because everyone needed them, but they were bulky, perishable, and inefficient. Eventually, society settled on metals like gold and silver. They were scarce, durable, divisible, and universally valued. Coins transformed trade, allowing economies to expand across continents and civilizations to specialize, grow, and accumulate wealth over generations. But gold had a problem. It was heavy, difficult to transport in large quantities, and dangerous to carry over long distances. The more trade expanded, the more impractical physical gold became. This limitation forced innovation, and that innovation would quietly change money forever. In 17th century Europe, especially in London, goldsmiths offered secure storage for people's coins. In exchange, they issued paper receipts promising that the holder could reclaim their gold at any time. These receipts quickly became more convenient than the gold itself. People began trading the paper instead of the metal because it was lighter, safer, and easier to move. Then someone noticed something crucial. Most people never came back to retrieve their gold. The goldsmiths realized they could issue more receipts than the gold they actually held, loaning out these paper claims for interest. As long as everyone didn't demand their gold at the same time, the system worked. From a single loan, new money appeared without creating any new gold. What started as storage quietly turned into money creation. This is the blueprint for modern banking. Fast forward to today, and replace goldsmiths with banks, paper receipts with digital balances, and handwritten ledgers with databases. When you deposit money into a bank, the bank doesn't lock your cash in a vault labeled with your name. Legally, that money becomes the bank's asset, and your account balance becomes a promise that the bank owes you money on demand. Now, here's where the magic happens. When a bank gives out a loan, it does not transfer existing money from someone else's account. It creates new money. Your loan balance is typed into existence as a deposit. That money did not exist before the loan. It becomes spendable immediately, circulating through the economy. When you repay the loan, the principal is destroyed, removed from existence. Only the interest remains as profit. This process is called fractional reserve banking, and it is the foundation of the U.S. financial system. Banks are limited not by deposits, but by regulations, capital requirements, and confidence. Since 2020, U.S. reserve requirements for most banks have effectively been reduced to zero, meaning banks can lend far more freely as long as they meet capital and liquidity rules. The real constraint becomes risk, profitability, and whether borrowers can realistically repay. But banks aren't the biggest players anymore. That role belongs to the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve. When the U.S. government spends more money than it collects in taxes, and it almost always does, it issues treasury bonds. These bonds are essentially IOUs, promising repayment with interest. Banks, corporations, pension funds, foreign governments, and investors around the world buy them because U.S. debt is considered one of the safest assets on Earth. When the Federal Reserve buys government bonds, it doesn't use saved money. It creates new money electronically and credits it to the seller's account. This process is known as open market operations. And when done aggressively, it's called quantitative easing. Between 2008 and 2022, the Federal Reserve created trillions of dollars this way. During the COVID-19 crisis alone, the U.S. expanded its money supply at the fastest rate in modern history to prevent economic collapse. Liquidity flooded markets, interest rates fell to historic lows, and borrowing became cheap across the economy. This wasn't counterfeit money. It was legal, authorized, and intentional, and it worked, at least in the short term. Businesses stayed afloat, financial markets recovered, unemployment dropped, consumer spending rebounded, but there was a cost hiding beneath the surface. When money grows faster than productivity, inflation follows. Inflation isn't caused by greed or corporations alone. At its core, inflation happens when more money competes for the same amount of goods and services. If productivity doesn't rise alongside money creation, prices increase. Supply constraints, labor shortages, and global disruptions only amplify the effect. This is why Americans felt the shock of rising costs in housing, food, healthcare, insurance, and education through the early 2020s. By 2024, inflation had cooled, but prices never went back down. Once money enters the system, it rarely leaves. Inflation slows, but the higher price level becomes the new normal. The U.S. system depends on constant expansion. Debt isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Every dollar in your pocket exists because someone, somewhere, owes a dollar plus interest. Mortgages, business loans, student debt, government bonds, these aren't side effects, they are the engine. This creates a strange paradox. If everyone tried to pay off all debt at once, the money supply would collapse. The system requires ongoing borrowing, spending, and refinancing to survive. Stability comes not from eliminating debt, but from managing it indefinitely. So, why does the U.S. keep doing this? Because growth demands it. Modern economies are built on future expectations. Companies borrow to expand. Governments borrow to stabilize society during crises. Consumers borrow to afford homes, education, transportation, and healthcare. Without new money, innovation slows, unemployment rises, and economies stagnate. But this also creates fragility. As of 2026, U.S. national debt exceeds $34 trillion. Servicing that debt now costs more annually than the entire defense budget. The government doesn't pay this debt by saving. It rolls it over by issuing more bonds, pushing the burden forward in time. This means future taxes, future inflation, or future monetary expansion will bear the cost. The system works as long as confidence remains. Once confidence cracks, the magic stops feeling magical. So, is the US magically creating money? Yes. But magic always has rules. Money creation doesn't create real wealth on its own. Real wealth comes from productivity, innovation, labor, and resources. Money is just the system that organizes those forces. When money creation aligns with real growth, societies prosper. When it outpaces reality, inequality widens, bubbles form, and trust erodes. The truth is, the US didn't invent this system, but it perfected it. Understanding how money is created doesn't mean the system is evil. It means it's powerful. And power, when misunderstood, feels like magic. If this video helped you see money differently, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who still thinks banks simply lend out deposits. And now, I want to ask you, does understanding how money is created make you feel more secure or more uneasy about the future? Let me know in the comments below.